Coming up on today's episode of Technoid, and today we're only going to focus on one story and one story only. It looks like Apple may have more products that we don't know about that they might be in the works, thanks to a reliable source. And today I'm going to break down everything that was talked about by Ming-Chi Kuo, and we're going to figure out if this is a possibility and what this could mean for Apple. So, skip-it-a-bop, boom-da-da-boom. YouTube, what's poppin'? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. Now guys, as you know, again, like I say, rough week, but I'm feeling a lot better, a little more energetic, and a lot more happier, so good thing we are moving forward and we are pressing forward. School is also starting up, so guys, there's gonna be a little bit of limited upload, so I apologize in advance. Welcome back everybody, so let's cut the BS, let's get right into the video. Story number one, and only story for the day, not gonna make this one really stretch it out, but Apple is supposedly has a lot more products that we don't know about that they are actually working on or supposedly could be working to be released. Now, a lot of these products we have heard about, but there's a few of them that are finally coming into the spotlight, and it looks like they may actually finally see the light of day. So we're going to go down the list, and I will leave a link to the article if you'd like to read this article. Now, all these analysis and everything come from Ming-Chi Kuo, who I just wish could keep his big ass mouth shut because he ruins everything because he is so goddamn reliable, but I appreciate because he gives us a good story to talk about. So with that out of the way, let's talk about story number one and part of this article, the iPhone SE2 or iPhone 9. Okay, timeout. So apparently there's a weird naming thing going on right now where apparently Apple may be calling the SE2 the iPhone 9, which makes absolutely no sense because the iPhone XR was the iPhone 9. I'm not even going to bother attempting to address that, so we're just going to call it the iPhone SE2. Now, I have talked about the iPhone SE2, and I've been covering it since 2018, and trust me guys, I'm not as bit surprised by this, but it seems like we're getting closer and closer because Apple has actually been working on some lower-end iPhones, and it looks like they're going with a form factor similar to the iPhone 6, 7, and 8, 4.7-inch display with a nice glass frosted back, and one single camera, along with aluminum or stainless steel chassis, depending on which one will save the most money. You do the math. The iPhone SE2 will also house the I swear to God, I should really start writing scripts. The A13 Bionic chip, and lastly, the iPhone SE is rumored to be around the $300-$400 range. Not a bad price considering its small form factor and what it's offering. Might be enough for me to actually go back to Apple. I'm sorry. Alright, second part is an AirTag. Now, apparently this tagger thing they're calling AirTag was supposed to be released during the iPhone 11 Pro, Pro Max, but it never really did see the light of day, but it could be coming a little more clearer as we are heading towards March because, you know, March has the March event. It looks like they may actually finally give this thing a release. What this thing is it allows you to use the U1 chip in your iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max to find missing items. You put this tagger on, let's say, a bag, a hat, or a suitcase, a briefcase, etc. You put this little tag in, using your iPhone, you can find lost items. Now, I don't necessarily see the benefit to this, I mean, personally me, because if I'm gonna be responsible, I'm just not gonna take it with me. But I'm pretty sure there's a majority of people that do forget their stuff, and they would like to be very protective, so this is a very good thing, especially for backpacks and other things. So this could be very good for security. So I'm hoping to see how Apple expands on that if this thing gets released. Now keep in mind, all that I'm saying here, take this with a grain of salt because a lot of these things may not actually happen. I'm just reporting on what was read and I will dish out what I think at the end. Now moving along the lane, now let's talk about things that I've already talked about, never really believed, but it might actually be true. The Apple branded headphones. So as you know, Apple is dominating the audio industry with the AirPods and the AirPod Pros in the wireless bud industry, and it looks like they are going to try to dominate now with over-ear headphones. Now I have talked about these in the past, and I do think that Apple is working on them because there have been reports that Apple were developing prototypes and still experimenting. There were reports saying it was going to be similar to HomePod audio quality, which would be very nice because the HomePods do sound very, very good. And honestly, I'm actually excited for that. Out of all the things we're going to talk about, I'm actually excited for that because I think that is the more exciting thing because Apple knows how to make good audio products, even in their budget devices, everything. They make good audio products, and I'm definitely interested to see what they do. Not interested in that price though, but what can you do? Next thing up also is the rumored, now this is the heavy rumored section, so definitely do not take this as this is going to happen. the Apple TV Series, whatever they're gonna call it. Now, as you know, the Apple Series TV 4K, I really am not good today, guys. I swear, maybe I should start writing scripts. But Apple is working supposedly to refresh the Apple TV 4K. They seem to be adding just a CPU depending on the code that was released in tvOS. There were some codes that were dubbed J something. Articles in the description, guys. You can check all that out. Only thing that could be described was that the rumor is it will just have an A12 Bionic to help support Apple Arcade and help it be more powerful, which I think is pretty cool. I have the Apple TV 4K right now. It has been running smooth for a year and it still works beautifully. So I don't think I'm going to be upgrading anytime soon, but if you're in the market for an Apple TV, stay tuned, you never know. Next up on the chopping block is the sports band. Now, as you know, Apple always releases sports bands in the fall, Easter, in the spring, etc. This is the time for that stuff, and I think that is pretty obvious that we're going to get that. So no shocker there. And last thing, the one that I wanted to save for last, a rumored wireless charger that Apple might actually be developing themselves. Now, where have I heard this before? Apple making a wireless charger? Oh yeah, AirPower. Hey, AirPower, yeah. That thing never got released because Apple gave up on it halfway. Now listen, I understand there was a lot of struggle with this product, and I understand that Apple tried to do something ambitious, but it didn't work out. I really feel like Apple should have just looked at the third market, because there are literally products right now that are literally doing what AirPower couldn't. They have the multi-coil design, you have your Apple Watch charger in the thing, so I don't know how Apple just gave up easily, but that's another debate for another time. But it looks like Apple may actually be giving it a second shot by making a different wireless charger. Now, we don't even know exactly what type it's going to be. We don't even know if it's going to be a dual charger, a single charger. All that we know is Apple is supposedly working on one. We don't know exactly when it's going to be released. I personally think Apple is doing this because of two reasons. One, they got to replace that history with AirPower. They have to figure out a way to get that name out of there, saying that, oh, we never released a wireless charger and everybody knows what AirPower is. I feel like they have to release something in that caliber to get that thing out. And number two, I have been vouching for it. The technology that was used with AirPower to synchronize when you put your phone down, you can see what else is charging. That software technology that works with the pad would have been so cool. And the fact that Apple gave up on it and they abandoned it really bothered me. But I'm hoping that they get it back and they do a lot more with that technology. And also, to any Apple sheep out there that's gonna buy this thing and go, this is the best wireless charging man in the whole world because it interacts with your iPhone. You can see what you're charging. Dude, if there's a wall, just run into it. It's a wireless charging mat. Please. Don't be that guy. But overall, that is the roundup from Ming-Chi Kuo. Now, the question is Apple actually going to release this? Now, there are some other side ones he does talk about, like iPad Pro, MacBook 13-inch, but I've saved those for later because I personally do not believe Apple is going to be releasing these right away, although I have been wrong to say that because in March they do tend to release iPads. The only reason I'm holding off from passing judgment is because typically those things are released in October, but as we've shown last year, Apple could do them anytime and it would be a surprise. So it really comes down to what Apple does and what Apple says. Personally, if they have a March event and if they were to release half of these products, I personally think the Apple TV, because if they're going to try to push Apple TV Plus, you got to get a new Apple TV in there. I also think that the possibly iPad, I'll give it that. Maybe I would say the iPhone SE 2, because there is a lot of rumors backing up the claim that Apple's going to be making a new phone and releasing it early. But the rest of this stuff, I don't know where they fall into place. I don't know exactly how they're going to fit this into their time slots, what exactly they're going to do, because you have a fall, a March, and then WWDC. So it could fall into any one of these. And I'm interested to see where they go in this, and that's literally the roundup of things that Apple could be working on. And the ones that I believe they're working on are pretty much almost everything I've said on this list. Apple will not take a judgment not to make things that will make them money. So it only makes sense for them to work on these things. Whether they release it or not is up to them. So do I think that they're working on these products? Absolutely. The advantage of being able to make money and people like us that we just go out and buy it, Apple will always be doing that. So that's my opinion, and I hope you agree with it. And that is it for today's episode of Technoid. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. I hope I didn't spend too much time. I'm going to check the minutes back on this video. But thank you guys so much for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great day, and peace!